Good evening, good evening. How you doing? Welcome to my first live workshop for 2026. How to know what you actually want for your wedding. That is what we're here to talk about today. And I'm just really excited to be here. And what I want to do, just to ground us and get us ready for the next 60 minutes that we're here, is just to take couple of deep breaths. I was, sort of getting set up and ready for this. So, um, you know, I'm a bit sort of anxious and excited to do this. So, just to ground myself and get us all grounded. So, what I want you to do is just make yourself comfortable. Make yourself comfortable. And what I want you to do is if you want to, you can put your hand on your stomach and we can just had to check something that came up, so I had to keep going. Um, yeah, so sorry. Yes, just take a minute and let's ground ourselves and get ready. So, what I want you to do is just take a deep breath in and then sigh it out. I'm going to do it one more time. Take a deep breath in and then sigh it out. It just helps get us centered again and get us grounded. I've got my notes here, so if I do look down, um, that's simply what I'm doing. I'm just checking my notes and making sure that I'm on track and I'm not um, digressing too much. I do like to talk, but I want to make sure that I am staying with you all here. So just bear with me as I um, get myself sorted again. Um, okay, so let's get started, shall we? I'm here, and we're here for the next 60 minutes, and we will, go through some questions. At the end, you'll have the opportunity to ask questions. If you're listening to the replay, and you have questions, you can drop me an email. But what we will be doing today as well is we will practice the body scan. Okay. Um, so in more detail, what we'll be exploring together, as it's there, is why you're feeling stuck. Um, we'll also go through inspiration versus comparison. We'll also look at 5 questions that reveal your truth. They just dig a bit deeper, these questions. So we will take some time to sort of delve a little bit into each question. That's the big part of this, to help you figure out what your truth is. And we'll also do the body scan as well. Okay. Who I am, I'm Edna Benpon, founder of Intentionally Wed, and I help couples move from unclear to aligned, and make sure we use wedding as a path to finding yourself, your true self. What is your truth in this season, in this time, and ultimately help you to get clear on what it is that you want. Um, so I want to move straight into it. I want to get straight into things. So you're not stuck. Um, if you are here, you've probably felt a little bit stuck. You've probably felt a little bit overwhelmed. You felt misaligned as well, you know. And the likelihood is that you've been planning someone else's wedding versus actually um tapping into what it is that you actually want. So if you can resonate with that, um it is important to recognize that it's because you're indecisive, because you haven't tapped into what is for you. You're hearing all the noise. And some examples are like, as we have up here, is a big one is the wedding industry should. I mean, we scroll on Instagram, social media, magazines, and we see what people perceive to be the ideal wedding, you know, and that's noise, you know, people, family, and friends sharing their thoughts and opinions. All of this leads us to take in information that creates noise, that blocks what it is that we want. We can't hear our own voice and what it is that we want. But ultimately, the truth is, your wedding doesn't owe anyone anything except the truth of your love. Yeah. And that is what we're here to do today, is to figure out, reveal what your truth is. Okay. That's what we're here to do. So it's not the traditions, it's not the trends, it's not approval. It is really to reset today and find out what your truth is. Before we get into the 5 questions that help you to reveal what your truth is, we need to look at inspiration versus comparison. And, um, you know, as I said, there's a lot that we see in terms of wedding content out there, and it really does influence what we um how we see things and what it is that we take in, you know. So it's not all for you, and the consumption of all of this content actually can make you doubt yourself, because, as I said before, you're just taking in an influx of information. Okay, so let's talk about the difference between inspiration and comparison. Okay, inspiration feels expansive, maybe that should be. um it feels like expansion first, rather. Energy feels like energy. It feels like, yes, that's us. It feels like you're leaning forward into something versus um coming out. Sorry. Feels like expansion. It feels like energy. It feels like, yes, that's us. We actually lean into inspiration, and it definitely feels more like ourselves. So inspiration just makes you, I'm sitting up straight, and it makes you feel like, yes, this is me, and we sit up a bit more straighter. Comparison, on the other hand, um for me, it's the doubt. For me, doubt kicks in very quickly, because it's comparison. We're looking at what others are doing, and comparing, isn't it? So it makes us feel small, and then we pull back. We feel like we should be doing more. We start questioning ourselves. Should we do this? Should we do that? And it makes you feel less like yourself. So it is important to be able to recognize the two. So when you're looking at the content, um, being able to recognize which feels more like you or less like you. As it states on the screen, inspiration adds to your vision and comparison steals your clarity. Okay, so it's important that you trust the distinction for yourself, and use that as a tool as you go through your engagement season, when you're making decisions, when you're seeing things and adding it to your mood board. Maybe you're working with your planner and they're making suggestions. It's a good place to, or good test to use to see whether it's actually for you. Okay. What I'd love you to do right now is just take a moment in the chat right now and type either inspiration or comparison based on how you're feeling about your wedding planning today. Just one word. Okay, inspiration or comparison. If you're watching the replay, take a minute for yourself, couple of seconds, and jot that in. Okay. Let me know how you are feeling. Just the one word. Okay, great. So what we're going to look at next are the 5 questions that reveal your truth. This is the crux of it all. What we're here to do, okay, is we're going to look at these 5 questions, and these 5 questions help you to cut through all the noise and come back to what is true for you and what it is that you actually want. So I'm going to walk you through each of the questions, and after each one, I'll give you sort of 90 seconds, just a little bit of time, to write or reflect on each question. You don't have to share your answers. This is just for you. Obviously, this is it's recorded, there'll be a replay. So you can go back to these questions if you want to just recap on it and go over it. And also it is in these questions and more are in the Wedding Vision workbook, which you can download either via my site, or if you haven't, it should be in your links that you've had emailed to you. So let's do the first question. So question 1, what do we want to feel on our wedding day? What do we want to feel on our wedding day? It's not what it looks like, it's the feeling. So is it joy? Some examples here: joy, intimacy, ease, connection, presence. What is the feeling that you are going for? Is it groundedness? Is it celebration? There's so many options that you can, and I think about 3 to 5. I mean, today, even if you can just, if it's one, then cool. But with my clients, I like them to come up between 3 to 5 core feelings that they would like to feel on their wedding day. Okay, so I'm going to pause for a moment and let you jot what comes to mind. Okay, going to move on to question number 2. What matters more, the experience or the impression? Are you planning for how it feels to you or how it looks to others? What I will say is be honest with yourself. If it's how it looks to others is what's important for you, to you, then that's your truth. Yeah. It's not about um making you feel bad or it being good or wrong or anything like that. This is about establishing what is your truth. And if it's yours, then it's cool. Do you get what I mean? But what matters more, the experience or the impression? Be honest. So again, I'm going to be quiet. You're getting some ideas here. So question 3, what traditions resonate and which don't you want to honor? Are there traditions that you totally want to veto? i.e., things like the bouquet toss. Some people don't want to throw away their bouquet and or they don't want to pay for another bouquet to be tossed, for example. So, are there traditions that resonate that you want to do? Are there traditions that you want to negate? I also, years ago, planned an Indian wedding, and with Indian weddings, they tend to be quite long. There are, again, uh, acts that need to be performed during the wedding day, and this can take like a few hours. And one couple went through each of the uh, acts that needed to be formed and they streamlined them. So they kept the ones they felt were more important to them, and let go of the ones that they didn't, and had a conversation with their families um, to agree it. So you get the gist. Are there traditions that resonate and which don't? So I've talked. Hopefully, you've had a think in that. I'll just give you a couple of minutes to jot them down. Couple of minutes, a minute to jot them down. To question 4 is, if no one would be hurt or offended, what would we change? Okay. Sometimes there's a lot of fear of doing things or not doing things because of other people involved. It could be because maybe a family member is putting in money for a wedding, for your wedding, and you may feel obligated to do things because they are putting in money. Um, there's conversations that can be had around that, and that's something I would talk through with you and help you come up with a script for that. But the reason why I'm asking this question, as it says there, is this question removes the fear and lets you dream. So I would rather that you were very clear on your absolute ideal, and then, if necessary, adapt from there, find the compromise. But in this stage where you are visualizing and envisioning your ideal day, wedding day, this question helps you remove the fear and dream and just have that blue sky thinking. So, I'm going to give you a minute or so. So, we're going to move on to the last question here. Question 5. What do we want to remember in 10 years? Not what your guests will remember, what will you remember when you are thinking about your day, when you are talking to people, and through you're sitting there and you're looking through your photo album of your wedding day. What are the things that you will remember? You know, what images may prompt memory? Yeah, have a think. Okay, just check and see if we've got any comments in the chat. Thing. Real good. Excellent. Okay. Those 5 questions that we just ran through, don't rush that process. Take time to answer the questions. You and your partner can share your answers, so you can either do it together or you can do it individually and come and have a discussion about those questions and your answers. And it's a good way to use your time well when you're together, a bit more structured. And this part, in terms of getting your vision, is really important that you don't rush it. I find that people try to rush this part, and that's when it causes indecision later on. So taking time to get clear on your truth helps you later on. Okay. So now what I want to do is I'm going to teach you the most powerful and simple decision making tool that I know, and it's the body scan. And yes, I'm using this in the context of wedding planning, but honestly, you can use it whenever you need to make a decision, tap into your truth. So don't limit it to just your wedding planning. You can use it in at work. You can use it if you're trying to decide what to eat, just whatever context it might be. And it might actually be helpful to use it in small ways initially whilst you get comfortable using this technique, so that as you get deeper into your planning, you then become more familiar with it. And the reason why I'm saying that is because this is about being able to listen to your body and hear the truth from your body. Our bodies know the truth before our minds. Our minds actually can get in the way of what is our truth, because that's where the talk happens. That's where the comparison happens sometimes. That's where the doubt happens. So being able to listen to our body cuts out that noise. Your body does not know how to people please. Okay. It only knows alignment or misalignment. So that is what we're going to do next. And here is how it works. Okay. You think of a decision you're struggling with. Do I have spaghetti bolognese or beans on toast? I'm just keeping it simple for this. Yeah. What are you struggling with? You know? And let's start with the spag bowl. You imagine saying yes to spag bowl. Actually, do you know what? Scrap that. I'm gonna go with something different. Let's go with um a floral decision that you have to make, flowers that you need to decide on. Okay. And you're trying to decide on whether you want to spend money on peonies or is it roses? Yeah. So with the one that you're picking, imagine saying yes to that. So let's say it's the peonies. Imagine saying yes to it and notice what happens in your body. Okay. Does your chest open? So do you feel like you're breathing a bit deeper or is it shallow? Literally, are you leaning forward or back? You might move, you might feel yourself gently move. Okay. Um, and you know, depending on which side you fall into, you're either expanding, which is aligned, or you're contracting and it's not for you. So what I want you to do is I want you to get comfortable because we're going to actually do it now. We're going to practice this together. I'm going to talk you through. Okay. So I want you to close your eyes. Yeah. I want you to close your eyes. That's if it's comfortable. I don't, if you're not in a place where you can close your eyes, just, lower your gaze. Um, and then I want you to, first of all, take a deep breath in. I tend to put my hand on my stomach and feel my stomach expand as I take the breath in and then let it out. Okay. Think of one decision you're struggling with right now in your wedding planning. Maybe it's the guest list. Maybe it's a tradition. Maybe it's the venue. Just one thing. Hopefully, you've got that thing in mind now. And imagine saying yes to that thing. You've decided that's the one. This is what's happening. You've made that decision. You said yes to it. Okay. As you hold that yes in your mind, I want you to gently scan your body from top to bottom. So we start at the top. Yeah. Your forehead. Yeah. How's that feeling? Are you frowning or is it relaxed? The face in general, are you feeling your jaw clenching or is it quite relaxed? If we move down to your throat, is that tight or open? Does it feel like you're being restricted, like you can't speak, or does it feel like quite clear, like, you know, it's safe to speak? I want you to focus on your chest area now, moving down. Does that feel heavy or light? Is your breath easeful or is it a shallow breath? In your stomach, does it feel tight? Is there like it's knotted or does it feel at ease? I just want you to notice, no judgment, don't try to change it, none of that. Just notice. Notice where you feel it most. Generally, you may have one or two areas. Okay, now just take a deep breath and open your eyes. What did you notice? Were you mostly expansive? Did you feel light? Did you feel relief? Did you feel open? That's a yes. That's your body saying yes to you. If you felt the opposite, so you felt heavy and tight and you felt yourself sort of pulling back, it's your body saying no. That's your answer. Do not deviate. Trust that. Trust that. Okay. Don't deviate. Most importantly, is remembering it doesn't need to make sense to anybody else. If it makes sense to you, that's your answer and that's enough. Okay. So I want you to remember this takes about 60 seconds. I've done it slower because we're practicing it. Okay. But you can use this technique to make any decision, for any decision. Okay. So my strong recommendation, my invitation to you is to practice this technique, okay, as much as possible. Okay. Looked at something that has probably made you think quite a bit, and it probably hasn't landed as much, um, or hasn't landed as much, hasn't landed yet. So let it marinate, let it do its thing. And as I said, if you want some help, drop me a line via www.intentionallywed.co.uk and book yourself a threshold conversation. I'm here to encourage clarity before chaos, alignment over performance, and trusting yourself. These are my key things in this engagement season for you. Is for us, that's what I work towards, is helping you gain that clarity. There's this image, or this, not image, there's this in the industry that wedding planning must be stressful. It doesn't. The stress comes from us not trusting ourselves, us not getting clear on what it is that we want. It's from putting on a performance versus doing what it is that you truly want. And that's what today is about, is figuring out what it is you actually want and having the tools to be able to do that. So what's next? If you haven't already, download the Wedding Vision Workbook. The 3 aligned wedding sessions, those will be, those who are applicable, who are getting it, will find out. Will hear from me soon, within the next 48 hours. Explore deeper support. So I have the Pause, which is a 2-hour one-to-one, where we explore and dig deep into one area, one thing that is causing you angst at this time. And then the Wedding Wayfinder is a longer term 6-month program to help you go through from the beginning through to wedding day, in terms of how to do that in a way that is aligned with you, helps you tap into yourself, and is a measured and easeful way to do that. So I want to thank you so much for attending today, for giving me your time, for listening today. And just remember, you are not overthinking this. You're not overthinking it. You're not being difficult. You're not asking for too much. Okay. You're just trying to create a wedding that feels true to you. And that's cool. That's okay. Yeah. That's the whole point of this. So thank you once again. And if you need any support, you can pop onto my website. Details are there. And thank you for the love. And I shall see you soon. Have a great rest of the week. Bye.